For the next 30 days, I am going to be taking 20 grams of creatine every single day. And you're probably wondering, why is he taking 20 grams instead of the normal 5 grams? Because the effects of 5 grams are fairly well known. It can improve recovery, enhance athletic performance, support muscle growth, and even enhance strength. Basically, you take 5 grams of creatine every day, it makes you jacked. But according to some scientists like this woman and this man, 20 grams can do everything I've just listed and even more, like improved cognitive ability, negate sleep loss, can help regulate your mood, and even helps with stress too. So over the next 30 days, I'm going to be taking 20 grams of creatine every single day to see just how big of a difference there is between 5 and 20 grams. But before I actually get to drinking this, I'm not looking forward to that, I need to take some body measurements so I can see if I've actually grown over the 30 days. Yeah, so this is the current physique that we are beginning with. I do have a little bit of muscle, but I'm obviously still quite high body fat, but I don't really care, and body fat is not something I'm actually going to try to reduce over the next 30 days because my goal is to get as big as possible and as strong as possible, and one way I'm going to measure the strength is by trying to hit a 100 kg bench. This has been something I've been chasing since I started lifting, and I am quite close at the moment. So hopefully after 30 days of creatine, or sometime within the 30 days, the creatine will just be able to push me over the edge and get me there. Now, I did test my bench a couple of days ago, and my max right now is somewhere between 90 and 95. So if I could put an extra 5 to 7 kilos on my bench in 30 days, I think that would be huge, to be honest. Now, I did also decide to take all of my day 1 body measurements so I can compare them on day 30 just to see if I have actually grown. I'll measure my waist next. This is going to be depressing. Will I have enough tape? Who knows? The legs is going to be a very special part of this transformation because, as a lot of people know that watch this channel, I actually tore my ACL a few months ago and I'm still in the process of rehabbing it. So I'm going to be interested to see how the creatine affects that whole recovery process. I will also say right now, my fasted weight in the morning, this morning, was 73.75 kilo. Now, for how I'm going to measure the mental attributes of the creatine, that's going to be a bit more difficult. I think that's something I'm just going to have to kind of judge on the fly. Yeah. That is everything. Let's just get this ball rolling. Here we go, day 1. Honestly, it wasn't bad. The program I would be following for the 30 days was just your bog standard push-pull legs, and day 1 just happened to be legs. Now, for how I structure it, because I'm still rehabbing my knee, I actually started off with some fairly standard plyometrics just to regain stability and power in my atrophied leg. And then I moved on to barbell squats. Now, my top set was 74 kilo for 8, and this felt extremely heavy. And I did a total of 4 sets of squats, followed up by 3 sets of trap bar deadlifts with a top set of 110.5 kilo for 8, and then I finished the session with 3 sets of leg extensions and 3 sets of leg curls. Now, I do usually have more volume than this, including some Romanian deadlifts, but this day I was just feeling very fatigued and I decided not to push it. Okay, there is the first official gym session done. I am extremely dehydrated. I know with creatine that you're supposed to take in a lot of extra fluids, but I didn't know that it would dehydrate me this much, if it even is that. Like, it could just be like placebo and I'm getting in my own head. But yeah, that is day 1 done. Just have to do this for another 30 days. Because I was so dehydrated, I made sure to drink extra water just to make sure the creatine was working, and on my second morning of weighing in, I had already gained almost half a kilo. Already on day 2, I was struggling with drinking the 20 grams of creatine because of the taste and consistency of the powder. Oh Jesus, this shit is disgusting. But I didn't really have time to dwell on that, as it was time for the first pull session of this experiment, and it consisted of 3 sets of pull-ups, my top set being a maximum of 11, 3 sets of chin-up, 3 sets of a wide grip back row that I unfortunately wasn't able to record on this day, 3 sets of barbell shrugs on the Smith machine, then followed up by 3 sets of barbell curls and 1 set of hammer curls, and all of those sets were to failure. Over the next couple of days, I did see my weight begin to steadily rise as I was making sure my diet was locked in and I was in a calorie surplus, and I was also drinking my creatine every single day. But I was really beginning to struggle with drinking 20 grams of creatine every day. I think I should do 10. Okay, so I have decided that it is too hard, but I'm going to figure out something else for the remaining 26 because I don't feel like doing that every single day. So, yeah, I'll check back in with you then when I'm a man. I wasn't able to go to the gym for the remaining days of this first week because I was busy traveling, but I did manage to find a solution to my powder problem. Dude, what the fuck the size of these? Man. It's like swallowing a fucking mobile phone. Like, what the hell? Okay, that was way easier than the powder. I think I'm honestly going to switch to pills from here on out. Although the pills were making life easier, these 3 days away from home hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. I've lost weight. Oh god. I'm actually the lightest weight I've been since the start of this so far. That's not good, but it does make sense because I was walking like 20k steps a day when in Barcelona. I'm probably dehydrated and I wasn't eating as much as I should have been. Time to lock in for the rest of this. Okay, so that was that push session done. I'm not gonna lie, that felt absolutely amazing. I messed up on my bench because instead of doing 1 rep of the 80 kilo to kind of warm me up for a max triple, I just did it for 3 times for some reason. What the fuck did I do 3? I came down too quick on the first one. I was told to come down quick so I could explode up. It takes like less energy, but it felt like my shoulders were in a compromised position. So then I was just overthinking it and I did 3, so I messed up there. But the movements after that, I felt like I could grind out way more reps than I could have before, especially on the incline bench, which is, it has to be the creatine doing that. I've never really experienced that before. Like, I'm gonna be so much stronger by the end of this 30 days, surely. Day 10 is where we see the first bit of running during these 30 days, and the creatine was 100% making this much easier than the last time I was out running. But that's not to say it was a total breeze. Oh my god. Oh, man, this is tough. But I definitely felt like I had way more in the tank. This entire second week, I was really seeing the benefits of creatine come into play. I was getting stronger on all of my movements. I was still gaining weight. Holy fuck, I'm heavy. And in my opinion, I just looked bigger. And in specific, this piece of footage here, like, I've never looked that big in my entire life. But if you put all that stuff to the side for a second, I hit a milestone that I've been trying to hit for almost an entire year. Okay, I think that was the first time I actually felt the creatine do something. To cut a long story short, the amount of pull-ups I can do has plateaued for about the last 6 months as I've increased my body weight. I peaked before I started bulking, I think, at 13 pull-ups, and I haven't been able to beat that for like 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9 months. I'm actually not even sure. Best, or the closest I could get before this, was at some point a couple of months ago, was about 11 or 12, and I've been plateaued at that as I've increased body weight. And then today I just did 14, and they felt so easy. It felt like I could just, the last few were so easy to grind out, and I felt so powerful. And I'm putting that down to the creatine, to be honest, because I'm not lighter and I haven't done anything out of the ordinary. Like, I've just trained normal. Honestly, pretty crazy. I'm really intrigued to see the compound effect of this. And to be honest, I wish I started taking this earlier because it seems to be OP, like. Okay, so it is officially the 2-week mark and I'm about to go test my bench. Like, this is going to be a real sign if this is working or not. I kind of think I was stronger last time but fucked up my programming a little bit. But today I'm going to do everything right. Hopefully my bench is a bit stronger. That session went from pure euphoria and the best session I've ever done in my life to me having to call it short after my second set of dips, and honestly felt like I was going to pass out, which I have done before in this gym. So I know what that felt like, and that definitely felt like I was about to pass out, which sucks because I was immensely strong in that session. My bench has obviously gone up. Like, that 89 kilos felt really, really light. I know I only got it for 4, but just unracking it, it felt like I was unracking like 60 kilo. And then the incline bench press as well, man, that blew me away how light that was. I didn't think I was going to be able to get 60 kilo on it, and then I did it for 10 reps, I think, which is honestly crazy. Yeah, I don't know if it's the creatine that's making me feel sick, or if I just had too much caffeine and liquids before, but fuck me, man, I don't feel well. I really don't. I'm out of breath and everything. Like, I slept 2.5 hours, and this is the weirdest I have ever felt after sleeping that amount of time, because although I can tell I need more sleep and I am tired, it's like I'm not cognitively impaired. I'm like sharp and I'm on it, but I'm still tired. This is one of the weirdest feelings I've ever had in my entire life, because I feel like I should be 10 times more tired than I am right now, and that is 100% the effects of the large dose of creatine. I feel like I'm cheating my sleep a little bit, which is a bit weird, like. Okay, so I am just back from the gym. It was the worst gym session of my life. It was a pull day. Could only get like 8 pull-ups. I was just so fatigued. Like, I think the sleep really just hit me while I was in there. And I've hurt my extenders in my forearm on my left side, I think, from the golf this morning. I'm extremely tired now. I think any effects from the creatine that I was experiencing have maybe wavered a little bit. So I did actually pick up an injury from that and had to take a day off. And like I said, even though I was mentally okay and felt somewhat sharp, the creatine wasn't able to do much to negate the physical downsides of being tired. And the lack of sleep was definitely having a knock-on effect, because my bench had begun to plateau. Ah, bollocks. But I knew if I just kept taking my creatine and continued to eat well, I would get back on track. Dude, look at this. Can you see that? Jesus Christ. Man, it's a handful of fucking pills. Like, if you didn't know the context, this would look so bad. Okay, so I've just done another leg day, and man, I'm just getting so strong so fast. That set of RDLs, I put on 5 kilo and I added 2 reps. And to be honest, I think I had a little bit more in the tank. I think I maybe had like 2 reps in reserve. But to be honest, like, I haven't felt this strong in any other part in my lifting career, like while I've been lifting, which to me is an indicator that it is the creatine, like. Plus I'm getting stronger on all my other movements as well. I really, really regret not taking creatine earlier. Like, I just wish I wasn't such a bitch about it and just got over it and just went and bought the tablets like I'm doing right now. Like, they work obviously like the powder does. My RDLs weren't the only thing gaining weight, however, because to my surprise I was still gaining a lot of weight even this far past the loading phase. What the fuck? Like, I was only eating in a small caloric surplus, and I was gaining weight like I was eating 3 or 4 times that. And I could definitely feel this inside of the gym as well, as I just felt immensely strong on every movement, and I was finally back to making progress on my bench press as well. Now, unfortunately, there is no audio for this clip, so I'm just going to talk you through it. This was 91.5 kilo for 3 reps, and if you remember, on day 1, I struggled to get this for 1. And although this last rep literally takes 5 to like 10 seconds for me to get up, I was still able to hit it for 3, which is a huge improvement. Right, I am back taking the powdered form because the price of the tablets was just getting a bit out of hand. I was paying way too much for them, and this is incredibly cheap in comparison. I do not know how the hell I'm going to take 20 grams of powder again, but we are going to try. Oh lad, that is, yeah, do you know what? If I can do this, I'm a beast. Do you know what? The top's coming off. I'm not even being funny, because I know I'm getting sick here. Fucking hell. Here we go, here we go. No, fucking hell, man. All I can smell is vomit. Oh! Now, after that fiasco, I decided to go back to the tablets for the final week of this, but I was still having some serious issues with my sleep. My sleep is completely fucked. Every night for honestly genuinely the past week, I've only been getting 3 to about 4 hours of sleep. I can only sleep for a block of about 3 to 4 hours. Feels like the second I wake up at night, I'm like, stick a light switch on, there's zero chance I get back to sleep. I'm just gonna go to the gym anyways and just get over it, and hopefully today is the last day it happens. But if it continues after today, I'm gonna start getting concerned. That was a weird session. I felt so weak on flat bench, right? But the positive was all the sets after that I was stronger on. It was just my max bench wasn't stronger. So the back off sets on bench were stronger than last time I was in there. My incline press was much stronger than the last time I was in there. Dips, I got more dips than the last time I was in there, but they fried my triceps. I have exactly 6 days, 7 including today, so a week from now to bench 100 kilo. Do I think I'm gonna do it? I honestly think there's a chance. That might just me being completely delusional, but I think that's part of it. I think you kind of have to be to hit goals that are, you know, as big as that. Now, I did manage to squeeze one last bench session in before day 30, and 91.5 kilo was beginning to feel really comfortable, and this gave me a lot of hope that I could actually bench 100 kilo on day 30. And what makes this even more impressive is the fact that right after I was finished benching, I actually all-time PR'd on dips with 19 reps. And at this point, I need to also note that it's not just reps I've gained, it's also the added body weight I've gained as well, because at this point, I was actually up almost 3 kilo.
What the fuck?
On day 29, I also decided to test my max pull-ups. I did manage to hit 12, and on paper it is only a 1 rep increase compared to day 1 and not that impressive. But again, you have to factor in the 3 kilos of weight that I gained, and it is obvious that I am a lot stronger on day 30 compared to day 1. Okay, so it has been 30 days and it's time to measure everything, see if everything's grown. I know for a fact some things haven't grown because I've been measuring them my whole life and they've stayed a consistent 5 inches. Here is what the physique looks like at the moment. Again, it's still pretty mid. I'm a decently high body fat percentage. I'm obviously not obese, but I'm obviously not lean either, so it doesn't look insane, but I definitely have a little bit of muscle mass. Now time to compare the body measurements. On day 1, my arms came in at 14.5 inches, and on day 30, they are like bang on 14.9. I'm gonna call it 15. It's like in between 14.9 and 15, which is pretty mental to grow half an inch on your bicep in a month. Holy, oh my god, I did not think it grew that much in a month. Wow. That's pretty insane. My left bicep is about 14.5. So yeah, it's just stayed behind half an inch. But man, to grow half an inch on your arms in a month is mental. That is absolutely killing my ear. Oh. Now I feel like I've seen a lot of growth in my shoulders, so I'm expecting this to be good. Yeah, so day 1 was 49, I think I said, and day 30 is 51. So I've added 2 inches onto my shoulders. What the hell? That is ridiculous. My chest on day 1 was 41. Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm putting on a bra. Yeah, and then today it's 42, so my chest only grew an inch, which is a little disappointing, I'm not going to lie. My right quad measures in at 23.5 inches on day 30 at the top. And then down at the bottom on day 1, it was 16 inches, and now it's 17.5. So I've added an inch and a half to the bottom of my quad, the head of my quad, which is where I was missing a lot of the mass from my recovery. The head of my left measures in at 18.5. Is again a 2-inch increase on my leg. That cannot be right, can it? What? I've added 2 inches to the head of my quads. My left quad on day 1 was 23 inches and today it's 24, which is again another inch. Or my right calf is 14.25 on day 1 and it is still that today. My calves have not grown. My belly on day 1 was 34 inches and today it measures in at 33, so I've lost an inch on my stomach and I've gained everywhere else, which means I've gained muscle. What? That is insane. Jesus, maybe 20 grams of creatine is worth it. What? This is the most progress I've ever had in a 30-day period in my entire lifting journey so far. What the hell? Then for my lifts, my bench press when I started was 91.5. That was my 1 rep max. And 30 days later... That was easy. I might actually be able to do this. Okay. No. Oh, fuck's sake. I was so close. It felt like my left shoulder was gonna explode. It's like literally an inch off being 101.5, which is just about a 10 kilo increase. I know I didn't hit it, but I think if I had a lift off or if I bounced it, like I could have cheated it up a bit more. I think I could have got it. So I'm going to count it as a 10 kilo increase. The max amount of pull-ups I could get at the start of the 30 days was 11. That's now a 14. And that one is huge because that is a plateau I've had for like almost a year now. I'm not joking you. So that is huge that broke. My pull-ups have gone up and my back has definitely grown, I would say. But man, where I'm most blown away is the lower body gains. My legs have gotten exponentially stronger since the start of this. So on day 1 of this, I did 74 kilo for 8 reps. And that was me pushing my absolute hardest. I also did 110 kilo for 8 reps on the trap bar, and again, that was the upper limit. And also my RDLs were about 71 kilo for about 8 as well. But on my last leg day, I got 89 kilo for 7, so that's a 15 kilo increase. And again, I had some reps in the tank, so it was probably more. I was able to put 123 kilo for 8 on the trap bar. Again, had so many reps in reserve, but because I'm rehabbing the knee, I was just a bit scared of pushing it. And then my Romanian deadlift was 81.5 kilo for 13, so that's a 10 kilo increase plus reps. And also, it was just easier, which is pretty mental. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really understand how well this 30 days has gone until right now when I'm looking at the results. And also, I think the mental aspect of taking 20 grams of creatine a day is also really, really good. Like on the days where I hadn't slept, having that creatine in my system definitely helped me push through, like being tired. Like I was cognitively more switched on. I was a little bit more aware. Now, the big question is, do I see myself continuing taking 20 grams of creatine every day until time is over? No. In my opinion, you would probably get similar results if you just took 5 grams. Let me know if there's anything like this you want to see me do next. And if you enjoyed this video, you're going to enjoy this one even more. And yeah, see you on my next video. Goodbye.